you. show. My name is Thomas Miller. It's a pleasure to have you here with me tonight on this, I almost said January. Why? I don't know. On this July 25th, 2023. Thank you guys for making, in my, I don't get millions of views. I don't have millions of followers. I don't have thousands of followers. I don't even have hundreds of followers. I don't even have 50 followers, but the channel is growing and the views are climbing. I do appreciate it. Each time I do a live, the views keep going up and up. And for that, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much, because when I first started doing this, I noticed that there is a ton of people out there streaming and having live broadcasts, talking about some things. Most things out there, honestly, are just crap. It's just a waste of time. But there are a lot of people out there putting out very good content, and just to have a smidgen of that viewership is huge. So I do appreciate it, and I do thank you for it. You can follow all my socials. They're streaming at the top. If you want to send an email to the show, which I have to add that into the stream at the top, it is thomasmiller@thomasmillershow.com. If you want to speak with me live in the studio, you can do that. The phone lines will stay open. 337, first of all, 562-337-9619. I'm still looking at the phone number because I don't want to get it wrong, but it is in the ticker at the above my head. The lighting is still not awesome, but you know what? It's all good. We're growing. The channel's growing. The viewership is growing, and I'm just pleased with that. I am working on getting an actual studio space, so that will definitely up the ante as far as the lighting and all that. But you guys are here for the content, and I do appreciate that. You can comment or chat, whatever, see what's going on. So yeah, I'll be able to see. I can reply directly from I can reply directly to YouTube via the chat, but all the other chats I'm still working out. I'm working on. So anyway, thank you so much. If you need, and this is where the plug comes in, if you need reliable internet, there is a place out there that's called Unlimitedville. Just go to unlimitedville.com. Use the link that's in the description box below, and you will get set up with 100% non-throttled, unlimited 4G LTE internet. If you're in a rural area, if you need your own internet, you're in the RV, you're doing the RV van life thing. Hey, you want to go camping, but you want to have the internet, you can totally do that. It's Unlimitedville. It's truly unlimited. You take the container, or you take the unit out of the box, you screw in the antennas, you plug it in, and you are literally ready to go. You can personalize it. You can lock down your Wi-Fi signal and put a lock code on it, and that you can just access the administration part of it, which is totally easy. It's so easy. Unlimitedville. Use the link in the description below, and you can get Unlimitedville. All right. So yesterday we went over propaganda. And now we're going to go into a 1985 interview with Yuri Bezmenov, how to get a whole country. It's fantastic. And why am I going over this with you tonight? Because we need to know what's going on. You need to know all the propaganda, everything that's going on around you. There's no secret in the news. You've got. Let me run down the propaganda, or just with the Biden administration. I had to think about it because I'm just going nuts. Every time I think about the Biden administration, it drives me absolutely bonkers. There's so many things wrong with it. There's so many things wrong with this administration. Afghanistan, COVID-19, with the institution of the vaccine, making you take the vaccine, the Hunter Biden scandal, Russia just having their way with us. And I mean with the, taunting us with their military ships and airplanes, the spy balloon, the police stations in the United States of America, Chinese police stations in the continental United States. The spy balloon, I just mentioned that. The spy bases in Cuba. This is just China. TikTok, just China. We talked about the vaccines, but COVID-19 originated in the Wuhan laboratory in China. You've got Hunter Biden giving all of our money and bullets and ammunition away to Ukraine. You got him shutting down our pipeline in favor of Putin's pipeline. I'm sure there's other things. And besides his many debacles in front of the American people, falling down, misspeaking, walking aimlessly, having the Easter Bunny. Remember the Easter Bunny? Remember the Easter Bunny had to keep him on track? Unbelievable. So you have all of these things going on with the Biden administration. Nope. And recently preparing troops to go over to Ukraine, more warships going over to Iran, with more troops going over there, taunting the North Korean government. Why would you want to do that? I don't know, but anyway. And there's so much distractions going on right now. And this is the reason why we started with propaganda last night, giving you a basic history about propaganda and Edward Bernays. Tonight, we're going to listen to the Yuri Bezmenov 1985 interview. And he's going to, now he defected. He's a defected to the U.S. And Yuri he's passed on. He's passed on. But when you listen to this and we start to talk about it, you are going to be blown away. Absolutely going to be blown away. So let me cue this up for you. Let's get it to where you can see it here. And then we'll go into this interview. And of course, I'm going to stop it. We're going to talk about it, but you feel free. 562-337-9619. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you absolutely can. This is what this channel's created. This is an open forum. We talk about everything. YouTube may have a problem with this. If you're watching us on YouTube, hey, they might pull the plug on me. They might say, you know what, Darky, that's enough. We've had enough. Now I'm going to get emails for people that are triggered just because I said that. But Google, YouTube, they censor a lot. We're preparing for it. That's why I'm also on Truvo. I'm on Twitch. And my primary channel is Rumble. So if you're on Rumble, hey, you're good to go. I'm still working things out with Twitter. But anyway, I digress. Let's get into this Yuri Bezmenov 1985 interview.
Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it. There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such.
That is really enlightening also. It's not really, it's a military action, but not in the military action that you and I would think of. We think, you know, he's right. We think James Bond movies. We think, you know, this spy coming in, you know, doing all of these stunts and these real elaborate military schemes. But as he goes into this, and I've watched this video several times, and each time it becomes more and more clear that we have been subversed, that we have been, oh my goodness, taken over, that we have now in trouble. Let's continue. Oh, sorry about that. Let's continue.
The other 85% is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an exclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation.
Now remember, you think about this. This interview was done in 1985. So we are now almost 40 years later. Hang on, let me make sure I do my math. 95, 2005, 15, and we're coming up on. So now this is almost 40 years later. And he's given us a timeline of when the subversion will take place, when full subversion happens. Now, if you put that into context and you look at the way the world was, let's just take 1985. You look at the way the world was in 1985. And there's footage out there. You can look, you can see what we were watching, what we were listening to, what we were eating, everything that we were doing in 1985, our ideals, our morals, our standards, all of that. And then you look at how they are now, the stuff that we accept, the stuff that we just call is just normal. It's very different from 1985. The subversion has been complete. And after you're done listening to this tonight, you will also come to the conclusion that the subversion has now been complete and we're in trouble.
Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students.
It's funny that I use the word students.
In the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism.
Okay. bro, this is really going to be an enlightening time we're going to spend together tonight. So, of course, I'm going to put the link to this video in the description box below. You can listen to it, and I highly suggest that you do. Listen to it. Take notes. Be aware of what's going on around you, because one of the biggest things that is going on right now, and I say old school Americans, the ones that were around or growing up in the 80s, possibly the 70s, the older generation, the middle-aged older generation, look and they see the indoctrination of children in the public school system, the indoctrination of college kids in the college world. And we see this and we call it for what it is, and then we're made out, the ones that are bringing this to the attention of others. Hey, there's some indoctrination going on. This is not American values. This is not the way America's supposed to be. And then we become the pariah. We become the ones that are being frowned upon, that we're being called racist, white supremacists. We are those ones. So let's continue.
American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black. You still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior.
Think about what he just said. We have this huge push to tell our children, not us, not the people listening to this, but America as a whole is now telling people that they can choose their gender. You can be whatever you want to be. You can choose whatever gender. He created them male and female. Besides this time in history now, everyone knows there's two genders, male and female. We even give our inanimate objects those same characteristics. When you take a connection, is it a male connection? Is it a female connection? Our animals, they're either male or female. Our language, it's either feminine or masculine. But now, only now, when you confront these people that say there's multiple genders, even when there's science, even when there's absolute truth, or it be biblical truth, scientific truth, or just common sense, they will just continue to say, nope, this is not true. I see the truth. I don't want to accept the truth. That's when you know countries like Russia, the indoctrination is complete, because they won't even accept the truth.
In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place, and
yes,
who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because...
Okay, listen, let's go ahead and back this up. Now, listen to what he's saying in this part. I'm going to try not to interrupt, because this is, I'm telling you, even though Yuri Bezmenov he's gone, he's no longer with us on this earth, this interview is absolutely crucial to the United States very existence.
United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place and
Yes.
who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice, obviously they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people. And the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. Obviously they will join the links of dissenters, dissidents.
Yes.
Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America. Here you can get popular like Daniel Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda for being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon.
You see this? This is. Listen to what he says. You can get filthy rich for promoting Russian, in this case, Russian ideology, Soviet ideology, socialist ideology. You can become rich, and that's the problem, because we are such a materialistic society. Let's just be honest here. We are a materialistic society. We want the biggest house, the nicest cars, the nicest clothes. We want clout. Everybody here wants to be famous. Think about it. Most of the streamers are not doing material like what I'm doing. I'm not going to rule the world doing this material. Let's be honest. There's only going to be a small group of people that will come back to this channel and watch these shows. You know why? Because it's not flashy. I'm not promoting how to get rich, how to get more followers, how to be, the best looking model. Look at my muscles. Well, I ain't got none, but look at my muscles. So this is not sparkly enough. This is not what the people want. They don't want meat. They don't want information that's going to, in the long run, better their lives. It's all about me. We are directly in the me generation. How can I get the most followers? How can I get the most money? How can I dress the nicest? How can I have the biggest entourage around me? How can I be famous? I want people to look at me because I'm so great. That's this generation. And when you have that generation looking at these influencers, there's a reason why the term has changed from YouTuber, content creator, to now the more acceptable term is influencers. Whether that be in the music industry, the movie industry, and now the social media industry, influencers, even political now, AOC, influencers. They want to influence our young people, so they strive to become the next Kardashian, the next Britney Spears, the next AOC. Believe it or not, there's probably young women out there who want to be the next AOC. I'm just going to digress for a little bit. I listened to a show. It's called Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. And George Norrie was on the phone talking. He had open phone lines, and they were talking about the Bible and all this stuff. And one caller gets on the phone, and he literally says, yeah, Jesus hasn't... that who is the Messiah?
Nothing for the beautiful, noble idea